Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. This is USAPrepares.com. And we broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 11 a.m. Central Time. And if you'd like to call us, we'd be delighted to pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. And if you have a phone that you're carrying with you or you'd like to listen to us on your phone, there's a listen line. 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. There's a link to your instructors on the website, usaprepares.com, usaprepares.com. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli. And with us today, we're going to talk about, for hour number one, we're going to talk about do-it-yourself car care. Things you need to know. Tricks that your instructor, Kurt Wilson, and I have learned separately, but agree on. We've learned these over the years, and we're going to share them with you. Welcome, Kurt Wilson.
Hey, what's happening, Vincent?
It's great to hear your voice, Kurt. You sound loud and clear. It's wonderful. You know,
good. I'm awake.
Yeah, you're in California.
Well, I'm in Idaho. No. I'm in America. I'm not in a foreign nation.
Okay, I thought you were in California. Mm-mm. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Well, Kurt, your website is the Armchair Survivalist. armchairsurvivalist.com. And I was chatting with Kurt Wilson off the air and yesterday, and we were talking about things that we've learned, and you used the term shade tree mechanic. Would you tell us a little bit about what that means? Because that's what we are.
Well, I'll tell you, when I grew up, we were very poor, and that's not an understatement. We were talking about garbage and how this is a throwaway society and has been for the past 40, 50 years. Our garbage was the equivalent of one of those $10 galvanized steel garbage cans, the little tiny ones, by the way, that an 8-year-old boy could pick up and put on a curb. We didn't throw things away. We made use of everything, and we couldn't afford, if something went wrong in one of our vehicles, we couldn't take it to a mechanic. That was out of the question. So we had a big it was a pepper tree, actually. And it was, this thing was 100 years old, and we had a chain on one of the limbs and block and tackle, and we could pull a car under it and pull a motor out. And even in 100-degree temperature, we have shade, and we're underneath there doing whatever we got to do on any of our vehicles. And that's pretty standard. That was pretty standard all throughout the country. During the Depression and after that was people who would do their own work on their own vehicles, and they ended up being termed shade tree mechanic.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's interesting about that is back in the 1960s and the 1950s, if you lived in a neighborhood, let's say, and you looked at the driveways with the vehicles in them on a Saturday, typically you would see the hood up on a lot of vehicles, and then you'd see half of a person, hanging out the hood, because those were the days when just about everybody I knew worked on his own vehicle, changing the oil, the spark plugs, checking the air cleaner, make sure it's clean, all of those service items, even filling up the topping off the fluid in the battery. That's something that we would do routinely.
I remember with the My grandpa had a 51 Ford with a flathead 6-cylinder in it. And that's not the original motor it came with it, but it blew up. So he bought the car for $25. The body and the interior was in mint condition. The motor was blown. And he got a flathead motor out of an older Chevy. I think it was in the early 40s. And they'd somehow rigged it to fit in there, and it was running perfect, purred like a kitten. And here I am, I'm a 6-year-old boy. I'm up on the fender. And by the way, fenders in those times, they were so strong you could jump on them and it wouldn't phase them. So I'm up on the fender, bent over, half my body inside the well there. And Grandpa's going, now this is a spark plug. I remember that. This is a spark plug. It throws a spark. And this is this, and he's pointing things out, and I'm going,
Yep. Yeah, those were the days when we were taught by the more experienced members of our family, the men typically, on mechanics, and we learned how to drive in the rain. We learned how to drive in the snow and ice, and safely. And the vehicles didn't have as good of brakes or steering systems nor suspension as they have now. But we paid attention to our vehicles, and if there was a sound that we didn't recognize, you didn't turn the radio up to block that sound.
Now you made a good point. And this is the thing that's always, I have no sympathy at all for somebody who goes, I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. It just doesn't want to work right. I have no sympathy for him. You have a piece of the physical universe in your possession. You have the responsibility to know what's going on with it. And yeah, you're driving along, and all of a sudden you start hearing a weird sound, right? Just tinking, and you're going, and I'm not kidding. I've had people go, where's that sound again? I wonder what that is. So are you kidding me? And you haven't checked it out? Oh, I haven't had time yet. And they have excuses. But then all of a sudden, they don't have a car anymore, and it's in the shop, and it's going to cost them $1,700 because they just threw a push rod, and it fell down into the the things were they domino effect. That's the key, domino effect. If you don't grab it and fix it when you notice it, and this I've taught people how to repair and handle cars, guns, telephone equipment, you name it. The key is this. This part of the physical universe, whatever part it is, it could be your engine, it could be your rear end, it could be your radio. The instant it gets your attention is when it wants to be fixed.
Let me give you an example of that. You're absolutely right. We have a four-wheeler, actually a couple of them here at the farm, and they're not just for fun. They are tools that we use to check the fields and check the cows and bring the cows minerals and supplements and things like that. And we use them every day. As a matter of fact, I bought an hour meter that I'm going to attach to one that doesn't have one so that we know exactly when we should be changing the oil. And so one of them is a Kawasaki Bayou 250cc. And it just started making this tap, 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 tap. And I said, and that's the one Mrs. Finelli uses the most. And I said, I heard you come by. The window was open. I heard from a distance this knocking, and that is a big end connecting rod knock. So let's not use that anymore, because the next thing that happens, the connecting rod bearing will fail. The connecting rod will end up probably going through the engine case, and it will be a catastrophic failure. Right now, it's a simple problem of just changing the crank, the connecting rod bearing. You know, it's a $100 problem that we can prevent from being a major catastrophe that would cause piston rings and, half of a case or a whole case or maybe even a whole engine. So you're absolutely right. And those are the kinds of things that we should be aware of. I heard the story from a man who was driving his vehicle as a truck, and he said, the oil light came on. And I said, what'd you do? And he said, well, I waited till the next exit, and I pulled over, and I said, so what do you think that means? And he said, well, it means it's low on oil. I said, you need to check the oil like every week. That's what I do. And before you get in the vehicle, you look underneath the vehicle to see if there's any drips that you're not familiar with. And if there's oil or antifreeze, you need to fix that and, check on it right then and there, and possibly even fix it right then and there. Maybe not even use that vehicle. Well, he was under the understanding that the time to check the oil is when that red light comes on the dash that says oil.
That's too late.
And guess what happened? So guess what happened next? So I was helping him find a used engine and someone to put it in. And I'm not kidding.
Well, I'll tell you something. People think just because they got a cool car or vehicle that has gauges on it instead of idiot lights, has gauges. Let me tell you all a secret, especially about the temperature gauge. This gauge, you start your engine up, and you got a diesel motor. I mean, if you have a Dodge with a diesel motor in it, you have all kinds of gauges, and you got a temperature gauge of the radiator, and you see the thing goes up to about 200 degrees, and that's operating temperature. People look at they're driving along, and they're looking at their temperature gauge, and they know what it looks like. They've been driving this vehicle for years. They know that it's going to get up to around 200 degrees. And then one day, in the middle of summer, they're noticing, wow, this thing's really running cool. It's not even registering. You get that? The gauge isn't even registering. Well, here's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. You have a sensor unit inside the radiator that measures the temperature of the water. What happens if there's no water for it to measure? It goes down to zero. So if you see, and you've been driving for half an hour, and your temperature gauge is still at the bottom, and you're thinking, this thing just hasn't warmed up. It's because there's no water in the radiator. And the next step will be Vincent helping you find a used motor somewhere.
Well, that case actually happened just slightly differently. A guy bought, we had a used vehicle, and it was in tip-top condition. It was, and I'll tell you what it was. It was a Volvo 740 turbo station wagon. It was a 4-cylinder, and it was designed by an Italian designer, so it was a really good-looking vehicle, and we loved it. This guy needed a vehicle, so we sold it to him. And he was driving it along, and everything was fine. And then one day he saw the temperature gauge start climbing. And he said, obviously, it's the gauge. It's the gauge is climbing, and everything's okay. And what happened next was he warped the head on that aluminum head Volvo engine. Right? And so that's when I taught him how to take the head off, and we had it resurfaced, and we put it all back together. But it was a needless several $100 expense and a lot of work. Kurt Wilson's with us, armchairsurvivalist.com. We're going to tell you some tricks when we come back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthur decks for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422. Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthur decks for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care, as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Class, I got a real quick announcement for you. Monday and Tuesday, that's Monday the 13th, Tuesday the 14th, next week. Dr. Joel Wallach, USA Preparedness Instructor, will be in Springfield, Missouri at the Holiday Inn, North Glenstone. North Glenstone. It's just south of the Interstate 44. Dr. Joel Wallach is going to be talking about the ins and outs of nutrition for better health. And I'm going to give you a phone number in a minute that you can call and talk to Jim Stewart and let him know you're coming. He's with USA Prepares. And if you decide that you'd like to buy some of Joel Wallach's products, please buy them under the USA team banner. That way we'll help you, and we'll get credit for it, and it'll help defray some of the expenses of this broadcast. So that's Monday and Tuesday next week. Registration's at 6 o'clock. It's absolutely free. And the meeting starts at 7. Registration at 6 o'clock. Meeting that's p.m. and the meeting starts at 7, and Dr. Joel Wallach will be there. And let me give you the phone number: 417-863-7149. 417-863-7149. That's the telephone number for Jim Stewart. He's with us at USA Prepares, and he'll help you get the information that you need, and he'll help get you signed up if you'd like to do that. So that's Dr. Joel Wallach. Separate meetings Monday and Tuesday. They're independent. You can go to one or the other or both if you'd like. And I'm going to try to be there as well. So that's the announcement that we have. And Kurt, I was thinking about lug nuts and wheel studs, and you and I have found a really interesting way of working with lug nuts and wheel studs. Would you like to share with us what your thoughts are?
Sure. Years ago, when I just got out of the service and I had an MGB, and I didn't know anything about anything, I would have my tires rotated, or I'd have them changed or something. And one day, one of the tires started bang, 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 banging, not blowing out, but banging. And I stopped alongside the freeway. I was doing 110 miles an hour when I heard it. And I stopped alongside the freeway, and all of the lug nuts were loose and flopping around. And I'm like, holy crap, if they'd come off, I'd be dead. So I decided at that point, there's no one going to touch my tires on my vehicle but me. Mm-hmm. So I have, and I'm in North Idaho. I'm 100 miles south of the Canadian border. And it gets snowy up here, it gets icy up here. And there's too damn many Californians up here that have no clue how to drive. You know, they have two games they play up here. One is my tires aren't bald enough yet. Mm-hmm. And the other is it's not bad enough to put it in four-wheel drive yet. Mm-hmm. So we make sure that we are in top-notch shape, and that we do it ourselves. I have a set of what they call takeoffs or snow rims that I put my studded snow tires on, and then I have another set of rims that I have the rest of the year tires on. And we swap them out ourselves. I take them, get them balanced, and then I put them on, torque them down properly. But here's what I do. When I pull my wheels off, I take a rag and I wipe down each of the studs, all the threads. Then I take a wire brush and I wire brush all of the threads on the wheel. Okay, okay. Then, and we were talking about this, the cheap aluminum in an aluminum case battery cleaner. On one side, it's female side with wire bristles in, and you stick over the terminal of your battery and you twist it. And the other side, it's a pointed wire brush that you use to clean the terminals on the end of your wires that go onto the battery, because it's a male part. I take the female part and I stick it over the threads and brush it, clean it that way. And I take the male part, and I insert it into each lug nut, and I clean out the inside that way. So I'm stripping any possibility of rust particles, dirt particles, sand, garbage, everything off of my threads. There's nothing that can screw your day up worse when you're putting your tire back on than cross-threading a lug nut.
Oh, man.
Because this is a 25 cent part, the stud, but you have to pull the hub off, and you've got to beat it out. And it's like, don't do it. So we clean everything with a wire brush, and then I take a high-pressure, high-temperature molybdenum grease, which has Teflon embedded in it, and I coat each one of my studs with it. And then when I put my nuts back on, it's smooth and clean, and I torque it down, and it lasts for the whole season.
There you go. And I do something very, very similar to that. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you a little bit about spray lubricant and how I use that in addition. We'll be right back. Kurt Wilson, armchairsurvivalist.com.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from newharvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all-natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at newharvestfoods.com. That's newharvestfoods.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using the computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today. Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Kurt Wilson's with us, armchairsurvivalist.com. You know, class, if you follow along and do this, it's at your own risk, because everywhere you go, if you talk to your dealership, if you read the owner's manual, they'll say absolutely, positively do not put any kind of lubricant or anything on your wheel studs or your lug nuts. They'll tell you that. Now, the reason that Kurt and I both do this, and I've been doing it for decades, and I'm sure Kurt has as well. The reason we do that is we want to make sure that these studs and nuts don't wear out, and they make a good seal, and that they're clean. And we use torque wrenches to make sure that we torque the wheels to the precise amount. And, you know, I suggest if you do use lubricant, do it at your own risk. But check your lug nuts, the next day as well.
Well, I got to interject one thing, Vincent. Yeah. I forgot to say, once I coat everything, I wipe it off well. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I take a big old sloppy handful and put it on there and leave it on there. No, you coat it down, take it off. And I can tell you one thing, I'm one of the few vehicles in North Idaho with all the snow and ice and all of that, that when I pull my lug nuts off, my studs have no rust on them. Right. They're not cross-threaded. The tire stores love working on any of my vehicles if I have them swap out my tires.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what I do is when I have like a drain plug for an oil change or spark plugs, and once I wire brush, if I'm going to put them back in, once I wire brush and clean them, I make sure that I spray a little bit of, and I use SuperTech, it's available at Walmart, to spray lubricant with an extension spray nozzle on there, so you can precisely spray. And I spray a little bit of that on in a way that any dirt that I might not have seen will wash off with the spray lubricant. And then I use an air compressor nozzle to blow the lubricant off. So I want to make absolutely sure that I get rid of all of that dirt that can damage aluminum wheels, and of course the studs.
Yeah.
And Kurt, we haven't talked about oil changes, and what procedure do you use when you change your oil?
Well, first thing I do is I run the engine for about a half hour to warm it up. Okay, and it depends on how many miles are on it. If there's I don't know, over 75,000 miles, I want to flush the motor out first, because there's a lot of crap that gets in there. Your oil actually will start to solidify. It'll create flakes. Parts of it will lose its cohesion, and it will start chunk up and get gloppy. So I want to, depending again on how many miles on the motor and how well it's been taken care of, I'll flush it out. And you can go to Walmart and you get this it's a quart of engine flush. And you simply you pour it in the crankcase of a warm engine and let it run for about 5 minutes. Not any longer than that. I'm going to tell you right now. Just let it run, and then and they always tell you never change the oil when it's hot. Well, I'm sorry. That's the only time I change my oil. So you just have to not be stupid. Don't crawl around underneath, open the drain plug, and let it pour down your arm. It'll burn you. So using intelligence and common sense, you'll pop your drain plug, and you'll make sure that you have a container large enough to accept not only the 4 to 5 quarts of oil you already have in your motor, but the extra quart that you put in there to clean the engine. And then I drain that all out, and then I go inside, have a cup of tea, and watch about a half hour of anything, or go on the computer, because I want every last drop out of there. So you take it in to get it done. They'll pop it. As soon as it slows down to almost nothing, then they'll put the plug back in and refill you. No, I want everything out.
Yep, me too. And the secret that you just gave is the same thing that we do here at the farm and have been doing since the 1960s.
Well, of course it is. We're smart.
You want to change the oil when it's hot. And the reason, and what I do is I will prepare everything for the return. Let's say I go out to Springfield. I know that when I'm going to be home, it's going to be daylight out, and I can just get under the vehicle with the drain pan. I've got everything ready. I pull into the pad by the house. It's level, and first thing I do, raise the hood and get under the vehicle and pull the drain plug, and then pull the oil filter off, and then I let it drain overnight. And the reason I do this is I want that every last drop as well, because, as you said, those quick change oil places are going to probably leave, they're certainly going to leave oil in there, and it's dirty oil. And how much dirty oil? It could be like 4 ounces, which is way too much. And so the plan is, the reason that Kurt and I change the oil when it's hot, well, why don't you say, is it because you want everything in suspension and you want it to come out while it's hot, right?
Yes, exactly. I want it when it's hot. Is when everything breaks loose from the cast iron inside of the block. So that's the best you can do, and you always want to do the best you can do. You don't want to do this halfway measures that you find. You know, the guys that perform the oil changes at all of these Jiffy Lube type places, they're probably nice people, but they're doing what they can do because they really can't do anything else.
They have a boss. The boss says, hurry up, faster, faster. What do you do?
Yeah, and that's it. And it's like, they don't really care. It's not their car. Do you know these places that you take your vehicle to get oil changes done? They have a budget that's set aside for catastrophic failures when one of their guys is stupid and forgets to put the oil plug back in, or forgets to put it in tight enough. They really have a budget set aside for that.
Yep, and we're talking about, there's a guy on the top who drains the oil, or who is working under the hood, and there's a guy who crawls in the pit below, and he pulls a drain plug, and he goes, okay, it's back in, and the guy at the top starts filling the oil. By the way, do you fill up your oil filters with oil? Like, let's say you can do it in if the oil filter is mounted where you screw it in upwards so that the base is facing up, or maybe even sideways, do you fill the oil filter with an amount of fresh oil so that it's pre-filled as much as possible?
Well, I know I should, but I don't.
Okay, I do.
Yeah, it's a good. You can do that now. A lot of the Subarus, you can't do that because their filter drops straight down. There's a plate, and it drops straight on top of that, so you can't pre-fill it. I should fill it up, but almost every vehicle that I have The filters are on a sideways angle or something, so I don't mess with it.
Okay. What I do if they're sideways is I'll fill them up about 40%. I'll fill them up enough so that I want the maximum amount of oil in there so the oil pump does not have to pump and fill up that oil filter prior to the oil traveling throughout the engine to do its lubrication. So that's just what I do, and I've been doing that for years. Also, Craig, let's talk about the drain plug. In many cases, you need to inspect the drain plug gasket, right?
Oh, in all cases. Think about it. All the crap in your engine is going to come out over those threads.
Right.
So you have to clean it. And by the way, when you pop your drain plug, most drain plugs, now I don't know if they are now, but they used to be magnetic. So that
not many now.
Oh, okay. Well, you will see if you see like it looks like glitter, or there's shreds of metal on your drain plug, or when it first comes out, you have to look at your oil. This is the key. You don't just do it. You look at your oil. I've gone as far as put my hand in the oil and feel. If you feel or see metal particles or it looks like glitter, you got a problem inside your motor right now.
Yeah, and that glitter is bearing wear or metal on metal wear, or maybe if it's kind of a golden color, that could be the turbocharger bearings wearing. And by the way, if you have a turbocharger, you don't just shut the engine off. So you take it for for that trip you're going on, whether it's going to the store or whatever. When you get there, you idle it down for at least a minute. And because the turbocharger is spinning at about 100,000 revolutions per minute, that thing is flying. And it requires a film of oil on the bearings to survive. And if you just shut that engine down after a hard run, the oil stops pumping. And that turbocharger is probably going to keep spinning until it ultimately stops, and you can wear out a turbocharger very quickly. How much does that cost? $500 for the part.
Yeah, you know that, huh?
Well, we have not because I did that, but after 300,000 miles, some of our turbos have failed.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Hey, Vincent, I got to say one thing before we go any further, because I just remembered something that occurred to me here in North Idaho. And after it happened, I'm walking through parking lots looking at so many other cars that have the same exact problem. Headlights. The new vehicles, I guess from the 80s or late 80s, they have bulbs that come in from the back, and they have plastic covers for the headlights. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what happens is those oxidize, and they cut down the amount of light that's coming through your headlights. And it just reminded me of a time I'm coming back from Bonner's Ferry in a big snowstorm, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and it's pitch black, and I can't see a thing. So I physically stop on the freeway. Of course, there's nobody else driving. I stop on the freeway and I tell my wife, I can't go anywhere. The lights are not bright enough. I can't see anything. And then something bumps the vehicle from the front. And I'm like, what the hell? I got my foot on the brake. And a moose head bends down and comes right close to my windshield. There was herd of moose crossing the road, and I couldn't even see them. So we pulled into the next gas station. I'm driving 10 miles an hour. We pulled into the next gas station, and I told the guy, I said, we got something wrong with the lights or something. And he looks at the front of my lights, and they looked yellow. The lenses were yellow. He said, no wonder, you can't see through them. So, oh, God, what do I do now? Put new lights on or something? He goes, no. This is easy. He goes and gets a bottle of Meguiar plastic polish. Doesn't have to be Meguiar. It could be any kind of plastic polish. Motorcycle riders that have helmets with face shields, they knew about this because they get 80-mile-an-hour bugs splattering all over the face shield. They got to clean it off somehow. He took a rag, put some Meguiar plastic polish on it, and basically polished up my headlamps until they look crystal clear. See, they have from the factory, they have a sheet on them that is supposed to protect them, and over time driving, that sheet gets torn off. So this is how you fix your headlights to get perfect vision through them. Plastic polish the lenses.
Yep. You want to talk about recharging an air conditioning system when we come back?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I've got a tip on that too, and I'm sure Kurt does. We'll be right back. Do-it-yourself car care 101. Kurt Wilson. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
Did you know a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, you might not sleep so well. But now, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs, and it's completely hands-free. For a limited time, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-941-9796.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean destroys CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs, and it eliminates the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto, your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer only available by calling 1-800-941-9796. That's 1-800-941-9796.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Class, the average cost to recharge an air conditioning system is between $146 and $194 in the United States. The labor costs are between $121 and $154. Parts are between $25 and $40. I recharge all the air conditioning systems that we have here on the farm, all the vehicles, because I don't want to pay that. And we have a number of vehicles well, actually all of them are old. Even we have a tractor that's like a 1984, 1985 that has an air conditioning system. And today I'm going to recharge that, before I take it out on the field. Kurt, what are your thoughts on recharging?
The real stuff, or if you got this stuff, the new stuff. And it doesn't matter. You do both. I do them both. And it's scary, when you first look at your air conditioning system. You have the high pressure side, you have the low pressure side, and it's like, and the warnings are all over. Be careful! Don't hook it up backwards; it'll blow up and kill you and your whole family. Be careful! Don't get any of this into the environment; it'll destroy the earth. And it's on and on and on. And people go, "Oh, the hell with it! I'll just take it over to this place and have them charge me $300 to put 4 ounces of Freon in it for me." No, I do it myself. You can buy the equipment. You can buy but you don't even need equipment anymore now. The cans come with the adapter already mounted on them, and Walmart sells it.
Mm-hmm. Tell you, my thoughts on that are the same as yours. I use, most of the time, I use a refrigerant alternate, which is called EnviroSafe, EnviroSafe. Now, it's going to sound a little frightening when I tell you about this, but it's a blend of propane and butane. And propane and butane boil at lower temperatures than Freon, like 134 does, the typical Freon 134A that's in most vehicles today. And because it boils at a lower temperature, it cools better, and it operates at a lower pressure. So if you have a tendency to have a leak, you'll have less of a tendency to leak if you use EnviroSafe, EnviroSafe. It's a drop-in replacement for refrigerant 134A. How much is it? Absolutely. No change of the oil. Yep, no change of the oil. Okay. It mixes in. You can replace R12 with it. You can replace R134A with it. And we have a tractor, a John Deere tractor, the 6-cylinder tractor, and it has an old GM compressor on it, and it leaks. And I've replaced the hoses, but it cost me about, $6 to recharge it once a year, and it would probably cost me, $400 or $500 to replace everything else I need to replace. So I'm not willing to do that. I only use it, use the air conditioning in the summer, and it's propane and butane, and it doesn't hurt the environment. So if it leaks out, oh well. And how much? It's $43.95 for 12 6-ounce cans. I only use 2.
That's cheap. That's cheap.
Yeah. Now, and it's EnviroSafe is this stuff, and if you buy $75 or more from these guys, that would be 2 cases. 2 cases, maybe a little bit more. Free shipping. So what I do is when I buy it, I have it sent to our daughter, and she's got a couple cases of EnviroSafe, and she just tops off her air conditioning system. A little bit leaks out over the air. Put a little bit more in, and so for less than the cost of 1 recharge, having some guy do it, you can have 2 cases of 12 cans each of EnviroSafe, and just use it as needed. And if you want the kit to with the hoses, the gauge, and everything, it's a simple kit. It's not professional. That's $24.95.
That's pretty cheap. So, you know the whole story behind Freon, don't you?
Go ahead.
DuPont.
Sure. Yeah.
DuPont patented it, and the patent was about to run out. So they said, you know what? We do not want anybody else stealing this and becoming billionaires off of it. So they created a fraudulent campaign about how Freon is destroying the atmosphere. And they, because we have a corporate government, we don't have an actual government here. The corporate government went along with it, and they banned Freon in the United States. And of course, the new R134 was a DuPont patent also. So that's where this comes from. You go to Mexico, it's 75 cents a can.
Right. Freon used to be, R12 used to be about $1 a can. Now, if you want to buy it, it's probably $20 if you can find it. But EnviroSafe, it works really, really well, and you don't have to worry about licenses or any of that. It's propane and butane, and it's
I'm going to check on it. I'm going to check on it.
Kurt Wilson, thank you so much for being with us. You know, I feel like we're really close friends because we've banged our knuckles in the same places over the years. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. I'm Vincent Finelli, and with us this hour is David Zuniga, AmericaAgain.net. This is 104 in the series. Welcome, David.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for being with us. You know, I've got something I want to share with you. I got a call from Australia yesterday. And we normally don't get calls from Australia. And the lady who called me was singing your praises and loves what you do on this broadcast. And she listens to us on Ron Gibson's channel on YouTube, and she's in Australia. So interesting how this message that we broadcast about America Again resonates throughout the world. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I was very humbled by that call. And as a matter of fact, she takes the information so much to heart. She lives what you're talking about. And she has joined the faculty of USA Prepares, and you'll get a chance, class, to meet her next week. So just wanted to share that message with you, David.
That's excellent. I'm humbled as well. I've often said from the very beginning, from the time I wrote the first book in 2010, that the world watches us for good or evil. They watch what we do. They take lessons from what we do. And so we've got to realize that as we restore popular sovereignty. And that's what we're going to do today, is do the second part of this lesson on popular sovereignty. This is the foundation on which we have to stand. And last time we started this discussion about what popular sovereignty means, and it's supposed to be self-government, right? That's our form of government by law when you read the Constitution. And what I want to do today, part of this is civics. It's just, this is the way it is in the law. The other, the more fundamental aspect, is our self-image. And I mean national self-image, what we think we are as a people. And by that, I don't mean we should be a haughty people, but standing up to the key actors in DC organized crime, it's going to take that after we've repented before the face of God, we restore the proper hierarchy that's called for in the law for American government. In that hierarchy, as the Constitution makes clear, we the people are the apex sovereigns, the ones at the top. We're the peak sovereigns, and that it isn't just power, it's duty. That means in the corrupt scene that we have right now, either in D.C. or in your state house at the capital of your state, your servants every day, they really do think and they really do live as though they're your masters. And the reason they do that is because that's how they've been programmed by us. So we've programmed our servants to act like our masters. And as we've done that, we've programmed ourselves to act like the servants. So just notice this. Every time that you manage, think of when you've gone to if you've ever gone to your state capital. And whenever you manage to get 60 seconds in front of their majestic highnesses, how do you act? And how do they act before you? This is the reprogramming we first have to do, folks. And we reprogram ourselves, we reprogram them. It's not going to be an overnight process, but popular sovereignty means that the people are sovereign. So we're as mentally and as emotionally conditioned as they are, so they're acting like our servants. This is going to take time, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you listened in the last class, I explained that we the people are the only human power in America that's over the Constitution, and that our local and our county and state and federal servants are under that supreme law of the land. So I explained that our Constitution demands a self-governing people. And what does that mean? It means that people who govern themselves and govern their public servants. Most people don't think of it that way. We have to govern our public servants. So in America, self-government works like this. And I'm just reiterating what I said last time. Our servants are supposed to represent us and serve us. We're the self-governing sovereigns that govern them. So they're only supposed to govern either the mentally incompetent or the lawless citizens or aliens. So they're not supposed to govern us. We govern ourselves, or are supposed to. So those are opening words of our Constitution, we, the people, and then do ordain, that refers to only that part of America that cares enough to repent before God and then to be self-governing. But today things are flipped, they're perverted. The only self-governing Americans are the sinful and the ungovernable. And I said last time, those sinful and ungovernable fall into three classes. The plutocracy, that's the top 1% of the top 1% by income. Second is the bureaucracy, government drones that want a cushy job all their lives and taxpayer-funded retirement. And then third, the mobocracy. And that's the bottom rung of society, including the lawless and the mentally incompetent, whatever, that if you take all these three together, those are the predators, those are the parasites that we, the people, the productive class in America, are carrying on our backs every day. So now it's time for duty. That's what popular sovereignty requires. To act as a sovereign, there's duty first. And that's why I said it has to begin with repentance before the face of God. As an engineer for almost 3 decades, I noticed two of the most powerful tools that we have today. And I talked about this on some of the early programs, so I won't repeat about the African tribesmen and how much power computers bring us, even cell phones bring us today. But I noticed that computer technology and social media specifically are not being put to their highest and best use. They're used for all kinds of cockamamie things and weird things and dumb things. But what I call tactical force massing means that we apply these two tools, computer technology and social media, to the largest scale crimes on earth today. And in America Again, the movie, our YouTube, the 1-hour YouTube movie, we show you 7 felony classes that are being perpetrated by Washington, D.C. every day. So, and I'm not saying we're going to rid ourselves of all corruption. And corruption exists wherever people without supervision have access to money or access to land and valuables and other stuff. If you don't supervise them, corruption comes in. And the people of Mexico, China, whatever, Pakistan, Russia, all other nations are going to continue to suffer under corruption. But here in America, by law, you read our Constitution, we have a duty and we have the power to end this nonsense before it's too late. And the mission of America Again is to restore American popular sovereignty by helping America's responsible remnant, just the ones that want to, be the first population to apply this modern technology now to its highest and best use, what I call tactical force massing. Okay, so back to sovereign. Throughout history, the word sovereign referred to a monarch and to the nobility that at court who enjoyed the benefits of sovereignty, and everybody else had to be a commoner, a serf. In 1787, at the Constitutional Convention, the British plan that was rejected, Alexander Hamilton's British plan that was rejected by the convention, it would have dissolved the sovereign states into one nation with one parliament and with a king. So if our founding fathers rejected that sovereignty for real popular sovereignty, what happened? Why do we feel like our sovereign states have been dissolved into one nation with one parliament in Washington, D.C., and with a king, Obama? I mean, they rejected this. Well, how did we get it anyway? So I'm going to tell you the titles of 2 great books that I think explain this, explain why we got this horror show that we're living. One of them is written by Thomas D. Lorenzo, Dilorenzo. It's called Hamilton's Curse: How Jefferson's Archenemy Betrayed the American Revolution and What It Means for Americans Today. And the second book is by John Ferling, Ferling, and it's called Jefferson and Hamilton, A Rivalry That Forged a Nation. In those 2 books, either of them works. One of them, Hamilton's Curse, is much stronger but shorter. Jefferson and Hamilton is more of a biography of both men. But those books explain how Hamilton and his cohort, they didn't win their dream, an American king and nobility and all that. But Hamilton did win. He did win his banking cartel. He won his strong central government that was built on financial speculation and plunder. And he won his full-time standing army, what he called the New Army. And all 3 of those violated the U.S. Constitution and flew in the face of the Founding Fathers. It's okay. Hamilton still won. And so those books explain to you, show you where all the bodies are buried, and explain to you how that all happened to us. So now it's time for us to turn another page in history. If one guy, an alien, born on the island of Nevis, and came over here barefoot, if Alexander Hamilton could turn America in the direction we've gone, and we're headed right off the cliff, can we, let's say just 1 million of us, 500,000 of us, can we take that all back as popular sovereigns? Can we do that? That's the question.
David Zuniga is with us. AmericaAgain.net. AmericaAgain.net. And class, America Again is a new way of life to stop Washington, D.C. From running our lives. AmericaAgain.net. Please go to the website. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from Iron Edison, ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, then listen to Mark.
I had fantastic results with the Andro 400 Max. Probably lost 35 pounds, and more impressive than that was the inches I lost off of my belly and my waist. And the increased energy is fantastic. I'll be totally honest, I tried a different product, and I wasn't happy with the different product. You guys are considerably cheaper than the other brand, and I can really feel the difference.
Andro 400 Max, the extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe, easy, and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Feel and look like a new man. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a select quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, November Sports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
David Zunica, you asked a question about going to the state capitol. You know, have we gone to the state capitol? If we've been to the state capitol, and I'd like to just answer that question personally. A group of us got in some vans several years ago, and we went to Jefferson City, Missouri, the state capitol. And in the vans were pitchforks. I'm not exaggerating. We went to Jefferson City, a bunch of farmers, and just we the people. We went there, and into the state capitol we went with pitchforks. It did not make the news. No one got arrested, but I can assure you it was a memorable event for everyone involved. There you have it.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about today, is how to turn that fear factor around. And I think Donald Trump is going to help us with that. If he wins, if he loses, we've got a considerable mess in front of us. But okay, so I just mentioned, we're trying to figure out how do we become sovereigns, really, in our heart, in our mind, how do we become sovereigns over these people that walk these marble floors with their 27-foot ceilings and they're, under a granite dome.
Right.
And it's hard to do that to your mind, to your sensibilities after a lifetime of programming and several lifetimes. I mean, our parents were this way, our grandparents, our great-grandparents. We have kowtowed, we have bent the knee to these false gods, to to our servants who act like our masters. We've done it for so long that we don't know how to be sovereign. So that's what this is about. It's time to turn another page in history, take back what Hamilton stole from us right at the beginning, and understand we, the people, collectively are the highest sovereign. Our federal servant obeys the Constitution, or it needs to pay a price. And our state government, the same thing. That's our plan in America again, is to make this, is to put teeth behind this. So we've got to grow. So let me finish today's lesson by clearly stating that we don't support the so-called sovereign citizen concept. And let me go into that just a bit to nuance that. There's a professor at Georgetown University, named Randy Barnett. Very, very erudite man. He's probably America's foremost authority on the Ninth Amendment. But in a I think it was 2006 or 2007 essay, it was called "The People or the State?" ? And Randy, Professor Barnett, contended that American law schools don't teach the first major U.S. Supreme Court case that was called Chisholm v. Georgia, Chisholm. Look it up. Very important case. He says, or said back then, that the reason they don't teach that ruling and all about that case, they start with Marbury v. Madison, because if they teach Chisholm v. Georgia, they will see the writing of those founding era justices, and people would become much more powerful, and the federal courts would become much less powerful. And so he says, it's a racket. I mean, they're kind of a cartel, and the federal judges and lawyers and stuff. So I think he's right to that extent, but in that same paper, and I wrote to him after that and chewed him out, never heard back from him, but in that same paper, he kept suggesting, like 4 or 5 times, that the Supreme Court in Chisholm ruled that there's an individual sovereignty of the people. The American people are individually sovereign, and there's no way you can get that out of that ruling. He repeatedly kept equating the word joint with the word individual, and those words are opposites. At America, again, we stress, okay, yes, we the people are the human sovereign in American government, but popular sovereignty is collective. We do not say that each of us is sovereign, nor did the court in Chisholm say that each of us is individually sovereign. They always use the term joint or jointly. So this unfounded sovereign citizen movement with people's grand juries is just getting hooted off the stage, or even worse.
Going into a break, David Zernick is with us, America Again. He's teaching us how to do it. America Again, 104 in the series. We'll be right back.
DarkCityDefense.com was born in Black Mountain, at the foot of the Black Mountain Range in North Carolina. From the Dark City, as it's affectionately been named, we've built an online firearms pro store that boasts a vast range of firearms, optics, and outdoor supplies. With aggressively low everyday pricing and a free gift pack with every firearms purchase, DarkCityDefense.com is committed to Tier 1 customer service and overcoming darkness by turning on the light of liberty. Find the light in our logo and find out more at DarkCityDefense.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At ContractorExam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, ContractorExam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-941-5257. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-941-5257. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-941-5257. That's 1-800-941-5257.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Class quick announcement on Monday and Tuesday of next week. The 13th and the 14th. Dr. Joel Wallach, USA Preparedness Instructor, will be in Springfield, Missouri at the Holiday Inn on North Glenstone, just south of the Interstate 44. He's going to be talking about the ins and outs of nutrition for better health. I'm going to do my best to be there. Registration is at 6 p.m. Monday and Tuesday, and the meeting starts at 7 p.m. It's absolutely free. And let me give you a phone number to call if you'd like more information. You'll be calling Jim Stewart, USA Prepares, 417-863-7149, 417-863-7149. That's Jim Stewart. And if you'd like to buy some products, and please consider buying them under USA Prepares. Jim Stewart will help you. That is a free meetup with Dr. Joel Wallach, USA Preparedness Instructor, at the Holiday Inn, North Glenstone, Springfield, Missouri. Registration's at 6 p.m. on Monday and on Tuesday, and the meeting starts at 7. They're free, and each meeting is independent. David Zuniga's with us, and David, I wanted to comment on something you said. Back in 1980, one of our instructors, before he became an instructor on the air, was involved with us, and we had a satellite communications manufacturing company. And we were in the business of selling satellite communications receivers. And Andy Gibbs was in this meeting, and he was the seller. And the buyer was the CEO of another company. So we were interested in negotiating with this company that wanted to buy our communications equipment. So Andy Gibbs went into the president's office. The president had a raised platform, very much like a judge would have for his desk. So he sat above Andy Gibbs. And opposite Andy were 2 chairs, and Andy was to sit in one of them, which would put him in a lower physical height than the president that he was negotiating with. So the president said, Andy, have a seat. And so what did Andy do? He didn't sit down on the chair. He sat down on the arm of the chair. Now they were at the same height. So that's kind of how we respond to what you're talking about, the position of power. How do you behave when you are meeting a state or federal representative? What we do is we want to be above them, as you're saying. And that's what we've been doing for many, many years. Please continue.
Yeah, that's well put, Vince. And I think the other thing is, when you read the Constitution's opening phrase, we the people of the United States, that refers to the collective sovereign of our republic. It's not like when you go to the Second Amendment and it says the right of the people to keep and bear arms. That is an individual right. When it says people there, it's talking about in that day, everyone had firearms, especially living in rural America. But this is a collective sovereignty. If you're not, like you were saying about, you want to be higher than them, physically higher. Well, you also want to be, you don't want to approach them one-on-one. You want to, like you said about going in the van, with a load of pitchforks. You want to be a sizable group. When you, now, not a mob, and you're not doing that, but remember, we're doing this reprogramming of ourselves as we do this, okay? Not so much of them. Yes, we're trying to frighten them back into shape and all that, but we're trying to realize who we are collectively. And so if you go alone, staff is going to turn you out. And if they don't, if you get to see the person, even if it's your state legislator, one way or another, they have this imperious way about them. And I'm talking about 1 week after entering office, the greatest Christian, most self-effacing person transmogrifies into a different beast when they walk those marble floors. Something happens to them. Now, I'm not suggesting, by saying it's collective, by saying we have to work together, by saying our sovereignty is only collective, I'm not suggesting that needs to be a majority. It's never going to be a majority. Most people in this country are going to remain fairly inert. And you can't let that bother you. You can't say, well, we're just a few. Look, when we stipulate that we ourselves, it's the only time we stipulate a duty for ourselves in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15, when we say that we will, quote, execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions, unquote. That's law enforcement. That's not a majority activity. It's not a popularity contest. That's law enforcement. So we, the people, only needs to be a small tactical remnant in each town. And then, much larger in each state. And then, of course, much larger, maybe 1 million or 2 or more at the federal level. But out of the 320 million, don't ever expect a majority to act in this way as lawful, dutiful, repentant, responsible sovereigns. They're not going to do it. Most people won't ever do it. So that's why we say with the America Again indictment engine, which we'll get to in weeks from now, It doesn't take but half of 1%. Even that will be a surfeit. It will be extra. So to enforce the Constitution as written. So regardless how many contented Americans are on the other side, they're benefiting from, DC organized crime, it doesn't matter. It's time for America's sovereign, collective sovereign, to do our duty, exert our power, and as history unfolds, as economies collapse, and they are going to, there's no other course that's open to us. We've got to start acting like the adult in the room. It doesn't matter how powerful they sound, how imperious they act. It's all a bluff, folks. It's a bluff. So when you join America again and we help you recruit 3 more people in your town, now you've got a little group of 4, and it's not many, but it's enough. And we stand with you, and our staff stands with you as we start taking one action at a time. This is what repentance looks like on the ground. This is what responsible sovereignty looks like. It is never going to, you're never going to be the majority. Just get over that. That's electoral politics. Forget that. That was a game. That was a cruel game. Okay, so Donald Trump, he comes along. He's only saying many of the things that we've all been saying for decades. And politicians have been laughing at us through these decades, for these generations, and as they've been pushing us toward the cliff, okay? Trump is now saying, enough. It ends here. It stops here. It's time to end the hijacking, okay? But that guy, Donald Trump, from that office, there is no way he can do it. He can cheerlead for us. He can be the point of the spear in many cases, but he can't do this. It is our job. It is our lawful duty. So it's time to stop this transmogrification into some alien civilization. And look how it's happening week by week by week. We're allowing it. So it's time for us to become America again by standing up as a group. So this isn't up to politicians. Politicians are the problem. It's up to us. And I know I keep hammering this home, but this is what sovereigns do. Sovereigns have to do the job that most won't do. But this kind of sovereignty is unique on all the earth in all of human history. There's never been a constitution like ours, and we haven't lived up to it. So we, the people ourselves, we have to return to that duty. We don't even know what it is. That's what these classes are for. And over this 30 weeks at USA Prepares, this is the preparation for the long term, after the collapse, during the collapse, because the collapse is coming. Folks, mathematically, there's no way around that. Okay, so
Dave,
we
David,
have a law.
You mentioned they are bluffing us, and you're absolutely right. Sheriff's deputies patrolled our farm one Friday night late, around midnight. And I called the sheriff up on Monday, and I said, do not come on our property. Do not trespass on our property. You're not welcome here. He was absolutely shocked. So it was a bluff. They act like they have the right to do these things. They do not. Right. And they will continue until we stop them.
You have to know the law. You have to know where you stand, what your place is. I did this with IRS over 20 years, 14 times. I've got a separate website, taxhonestyprimer.com, and I teach people. I show the 14 names and offices of the IRS agents I went up against over the years, and you have to know the law, and I do. I know the tax code, studied it for 20 years, and you have to grab them as soon as they step on you. You have to grab them, turn them around, show them the law, and say, you either show me the law or you leave now. 14 times they have. So it's really a matter of knowing what we're doing. If you don't know the Constitution, buy one. In fact, if you get my book for free, the PDF book on our website, at the end of it, I have an indexed copy. That means every article, section, and clause. It's like Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15 would be 1.8.15. It's all indexed so that you can learn it quickly. You learn which article, section, and clause pertains to what. The Constitution is there for you for free at the back of my book, Fear the People. And the book Fear the People is available for free at americaagain.net. Go to the bottom of the homepage. On the right-hand side, blue button says PDF book. The new website starts up, I think it goes live the last week in July. And it's going to be a much, much more powerful, interactive website than the temporary site we have up right now. Let me get back and try to close this issue on sovereignty, on popular sovereignty in America. If Hillary wins by some trick of Satan, the battle's going to do one of two things. We're either going to collapse very, very quickly from the Cloward-Piven strategy, since we're so near the edge already, or productive Americans are just going to say, you know what, they're going to forget who they are. They're going to display mass insanity, kind of like the French Revolution. And I guess that result could be just as bad as the first one. I don't know. But I honestly don't think Hillary has a chance. I think that the media is totally bluffing, too. They're whistling past the graveyard. And so if Trump wins, well, we'll talk about that after the break.
David Zuniga's with us in class. If you go to his website, americaagain.net, you can get the free download, Fear the People, or you can go to USA Prepares, page number 1, post number 1. Free downloads right there. You can get it either place. Please do. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Vaping enthusiasts, head to vaporpalace.com. Choose from over 150 flavors and a selection of exclusive private stock vapor liquid you won't find anywhere else. New flavors are added every month, and our customer service is unbeatable. Vaporpalace.com offers 15% off all vapor liquid on Fridays and get 10% off every order with coupon code VAPOR10 at checkout. Combine the codes on Fridays for 25% off. The ultimate destination for the vaping enthusiast. Vaporpalace.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
David, you mentioned that if Hillary wins, we can have a quick collapse or something akin to the French Revolution. Also, if Hillary wins, we will have her husband, William Jefferson Blythe Clinton. People wonder what he might be called, like the first gentleman. No, he'd be the first philanderer. Headlines on the Drudge Report. Hillary humiliation. Bill bragged about sleeping with 2,000 women. Let me give you an example. Class, that's a different woman every day for 5.5 years. And the definition of philanderer is a man who readily or frequently enters into casual sexual relationships with a woman. Okay, so that's what we're facing. We're facing having the first philanderer and the first dyke as president.
I thank God that's. I just can't see it happening, and I don't believe that it will. I think that half of Bernie's people are going to end up with Trump, not with Hillary. So I just don't think it's happening. I think Trump is going to win the largest landslide in history. And I think this last week has shown that, has indicated that's where it's headed. You have a lot of blue-collar people now opening their eyes. You've got a lot of blacks. You've got a lot of Hispanics coming up and supporting Donald Trump now. He's doing a triangulation like Regan did, except this one I think there's a whole lot more steam behind it. And despite his own personal foibles and what I may think of the man personally, I just think he's smart, a lot smarter than he's been given credit for. And what America again wants to do and will do is put real popular sovereignty action into that mandate that Trump is getting from all over right now. The actions he's talking about are still very mainstream. They're still very, they just won't change the system. America, again, will. So that it's a mandate to end D.C. organized crime, to restore popular sovereignty to every town, to every household. You can't do that through a president. It's up to us. It's not up to politicians. So America, again, right now, we're in 109 towns and growing. If you join as a member, your town goes on that list. Our goal is 2,500 America Again towns by next March. But when Trump finishes his first 100 days, we want to have a real virtual army all over this country, ready to start pushing these things, not letting him tell us what we're going to do, but showing him what we, the American people, want to do. And he needs to help us. And I think Trump, of all of them, Trump is the only one that will. When you join America Again, we give you resources to recruit 3 other people in your community. And when we have a capital action team in all 50 state capitals, then we'll roll out our first national action. It's called Ratify 28. We talked about that before. It starts with one day called Proclamation Day, going to happen at an event that happens at all 50 state capitals at the same hour, when we the people announce to the whole world that America's proper, constitutional, sovereign servant relationship is now going to be restored. So that day will change a lot of things in history. But after that day, this transformation won't happen overnight. So we, the people, are awake, though, and we now have a full spectrum, long-term plan. We're dedicated to restoring our life in America. We're not going to let the enemy win this. And in your part of America, in your town, it really has to start right now with you. Let me say that we have Sunday night national conference calls every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central. And if you call in, this is all on our website. There's a big red button that says Take Action, and it has the instructions to call in for the Sunday night calls. But it's 712-775-7031, and the code is 123-277-344. So join us on those Sunday night calls and join us for the next class, America Again 105.
And that will be next Friday, hour number 2 at usaprepares.com. David Zuniga, thank you so much for being with us, class. If you can, americaagain.net. If you're traveling and you're listening on your phone, go to usaprepares.com, page number 1. It'll take you right to the website and the free download. First post, usaprepares.com. David Zuniga, thank you so much for being with us, class. Above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
DarkCityDefense.com was born in Black Mountain, at the foot of the Black Mountain Range in North Carolina. From the Dark City, as it's affectionately been named, we've built an online firearms pro store that boasts a vast range of firearms, optics, and outdoor supplies. With aggressively low everyday pricing and a free gift pack with every firearms purchase, DarkCityDefense.com is committed to Tier 1 customer service and overcoming darkness by turning on the light of liberty. Find the light in our logo and find out more at DarkCityDefense.com.
Vaping enthusiasts, head to VaporPalace.com. Choose from over 150 flavors and a selection of exclusive private stock vapor liquid you won't find anywhere else. New flavors are added every month, and our customer service is unbeatable. VaporPalace.com offers 15% off all vapor liquid on Fridays and get 10% off every order with coupon code VAPOR10 at checkout. Combine the codes on Fridays for 25% off. The ultimate destination for the vaping enthusiast. VaporPalace.com.